Guys, Kamlesh here. I want to talk to you about something called power of intention and visualization. I don't know how many of you guys are familiar with it or how many of you guys do it, but I just started doing it and it has made all the difference in the world to me, so I just wanted to share it with you. I want to tell you a little story about a guy. Most of you know him. I would assume all of you may have heard of him, but I'm not going to reveal his name till the end, so stay tuned for that teaser. This guy was born to a very average income family. They were surviving, I'll put it to you that way. He was one of 4 children. His parents were great to the children. His father was a saxophone player. And so he finally got to play saxophone professionally, but he had to give it up because it just wasn't making the money that the family needed to survive. So he took a job. He settled and he took a job. So he had this job for several years, and guess what happened? He was laid off. As many of us have definitely been there, have felt that before. So he was laid off and couldn't find anything else. So the whole family became janitors at there was a company or maybe a school locally. All the children and the mom and dad were janitors there. And it caused them to go to a very ugly place, so they all just quit. Now, at this point, no income, no anything, they all were homeless. So they traveled in their van and just lived in the van. Now, I don't know, I couldn't do that, okay? I know that might build character, but my goodness, I don't know what that's like. His father encouraged this guy, you need to follow your dream. You have a dream, I had a dream, and I let it go. I don't want you to make the same mistake I made. So his father encouraged him to follow his dream. This child was picked on all times in school, and he learned that to stop being picked on, he's going to have to be funny. So he started doing comedy. And he even encouraged his parents. He brought them to a better place because of the comedy he was doing. And so his father helped him, and his father got him his first gig at a comedy club in Toronto. That's a little hint. At the age of 15. This was in 1977. So he did his first stand-up gig, and he was booed off stage immediately. Within minutes, he was booed off stage. Now, I've seen different comedians' biographies and those things. That's a hard gig. And if you get booed, it's hard to pick back up. So it knocked him down pretty hard. He kind of gave it up for a little while, almost 2 years he gave it up. And then he was like, I can't give up. And his father kept encouraging him. His father kept pushing him to follow your dream. So in a couple years, at the age of 17, he went back to that same comedy club with a whole new routine, and he nailed it. He killed it. And all of a sudden now, he became a regular at that comedy club. And a few years later, actually a year later, he got a spot on a television show, a local Canadian television show. So he became a regular, he had a paid spot on that show. So he was on his way to the top, right? A TV show? That's incredible. Well, within a few episodes, the TV show got canceled. And he was right back to, okay, I don't have anything to do. Well, he had saved a little bit of money from his TV show earnings, roughly $1,000, and he moved to Hollywood with that money. And so he tried different comedy clubs and was doing very, very, very well. And so by 1982, he was headlining a few shows in Vegas. He was doing really well. And so he paid for his parents to come over from Canada to Hollywood because his mom always wanted to come to Hollywood. And his mom was having kidney issues. And so he was helping with her treatments, medicines, and all those things. Well, next thing you know, those Las Vegas gigs stopped. He was back to being unemployed. So he had to send his parents back to Canada because he couldn't take care of them, and they couldn't afford to live out in California. So at the age of 23, again, he was broke. He was homeless and broke again. And all the critics at this point just wrote him off, right? He was just done. He was done. So again, second major failure. Would you have gotten back up? Well, at this point, he sat down and he wrote himself a check. He was like, you know what? I'm tired of being in this space. I'm going to visualize myself. He would go every night. If you guys are familiar at all with California, the famous drive is Mulholland Drive. He would drive down Mulholland Drive every day and visualize himself making it, living here, doing it. He would do this every day. If you don't understand the power of intention and visualization, you're missing this then. He would do that every day, right? So he wrote himself a check for $10 million. Okay? Now, do you understand how powerful that is? He physically took out a check and he wrote it to, he put his name there. And in the section that you put what the check's for, he put services rendered, $10 million, and signed it. And he dated it 5 years. So he wrote it Thanksgiving 1990, and he gave himself 5 years on this. So the date he dated it was November 1995. He gave himself 5 years to make $10 million. So in this time, he got his gig on another television show called In Living Color. Fire Marshal Bill. Okay, now you gotta know who this is. And then he went on to star in a couple of movies. Ace Ventura, one of my favorites. And The Mask, which was great. And then he got his father passed away. Well, first his mother passed away, and then his father died, I believe, of cancer. Well, just before his dad died, he got his big break on Dumb and Dumber, and he made $10 million doing that movie. Now, all this time, these 5 years, guess where this check was? He carried it in his wallet. It was torn, tattered, but he carried it in his wallet. He had it on himself. He had it on his being. He had it near and dear to his heart. I bet he pulled it out every now and then and looked at it. Upon his father's death at his funeral, Jim Carrey reached back in his wallet, had the check, pulled out the check, looked at it, and he put it in his father's coat pocket, and the check was buried with his father. Now, so the person is Jim Carrey. I love Jim Carrey. I think he's phenomenal. And you look at him, you would never tell, any of this. You would think, man, this guy has had a dream, a life, and all that stuff. Folks, he has failed numerous times. Broke, homeless, living in his car. Okay? I have a house. If you have a house, get on your knees right now and thank God for that. I know I do. It could all be gone in a second. But my point is, power of intention. He visualized all these things. And not just, you can't just visualize it. You can't just write yourself a $10 million check and keep going back and doing the things that you're doing. That's insanity, right? Insanity, the definition is doing the same things, expecting different results. You've got to put it into play. You got to put it into motion, folks. That's what this is about. Power of intention and the power of visualization. If you don't know about it, there are books upon books. Look into it. Google Jim Carrey's story online. It'll touch your heart. Like I said again, I think he's hilarious. I love the man, and I have more respect for him now that I know the background of it. But my challenge for you today is write down your goals, write down your intentions, visualize it. See yourself already there, okay? See yourself already there. If you want a dream house, go in that neighborhood. Drive that neighborhood every day. See yourself in that house. Decide what flowers and plants you're going to plant. Decide what color you're going to change the door. Decide which garage spot, the left or the right, that you're going to park your car in. Visualize all these things. Visualize, oh, how far is this place from church or from the grocery store or whatever. Visualize it. Okay. If you want to get out a check, write yourself a check. That's fine. Keep the check, but get in gear. Do the things you need to do to get there. So again, you are an incredible person. You are you, and there are great things expected of you. He knows the plans he has for you, and they are great, and they are meant for you to prosper. So I hope you have a blessed day. And again, power of intention, power of visualization. Go out and do it. Don't talk about it, just do it. All right? See you next time.